Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all over the world. Dobson 777A here. Hey everyone. I almost did a video last night because I saw that things were breaking out, and I decided to wait this morning to see if it was going to hold, and things are looking really good. But I wanted to go back because it's just amazing to me when I use this pitchfork chart how it seems to be so simple, yet it clearly shows us when we have tops and bottoms. And I wanted to just point out on 11:30, I had this dark winter video, but I called it precious metal bottom question mark. And this was the chart that I had inside there. And you can see that we had come down and we had touched this 50-week moving average. And that had been a point previously back in March that signaled a bottom, and then we bounced up tremendously from that point. Well, here we are. I just wanted to remind you, and then I did another video on the 14th, and I showed the difference between gold versus real yields, and it indicated that we were going to have a jump soon, but gold had already started moving, and now since the 14th it's taking off on a second leg. So today's charts are going to show what's happening, but I wanted to tell you that again, I know it's sometimes I kind of go quiet because we're just kind of things are trading sideways, which is what this chart was showing, where the yields had leveled off, and therefore, you know, gold started going down because there was a decision need to be made. Was yields going to increase, or were they going to continue to decline? And now they're starting to decline, and gold is going to catch back up and take off again. So anyways, I'm on the spot. I'm watching this stuff carefully, and I've been giving you signals that, man, it looks like you could be making money on. Now, you know, I'm fully invested, and so therefore I'm not using this as timing, but I'm giving you timing signals. And most of this stuff obviously is going to the members first, and then the regular folks get it soon thereafter, but much less detail. Anyways, so let's start today's show. So here is gold, and this is looking at it in a year to date, and you can see this was back here when I had signaled that we had hit the 50-week moving average, and the next day this thing shot up significantly. We even came up, came back down, and now we've surpassed that. We're starting to really make a move here. So we're at 1883. I don't know if this is going to be a breakout or not, but we're definitely trading significantly we're over $100 from this low that I had called. So it's doing very well from that point. When we look at silver, this is the same time period for year to date. Let me click on to make sure. Yeah, it is. All right, so silver now is actually back into the September time period, but it had the same measurement point right here. It was down to $21. We're now approaching $26. That's a huge jump. If you had taken that signal, if you hadn't gotten in yet, you would already, of course, you got to take in factor the spot price and the premiums and all that kind of stuff. But even still, you might have made some of your premiums back by here at this point already. Platinum. Now, platinum is really the story right now. Platinum seems to be doing fantastic. So if we go back to November, it actually had started taking off back here October 30th. That was the low for platinum. Platinum was 842. Now it's 1047. So it's up $200. That's a big move for platinum. So I'm pretty happy. And if you were able to pick some up like I did way back here, I mean, look at this. This thing's damn near doubled from the March lows. So platinum is doing great. Now, when we look at our pitchfork chart for gold, and this is really kind of the thing that I measure everything against right here, you can see where we were had come down and touched this line instantaneously, and then it's only been green since that time. It is doing great. So I can't wait to see where we finish the year. This is starting to do just like it did last year. Remember, it was the last couple weeks of December. Gold took off, and this is the seasonality of gold that goes all the way through February. But when this thing takes off, I'm just curious, are we going to get our 2,000 before we reach the year end? I don't know. We're at 1884, so we'd have to get $120 to make 2,000. It's very possible. I mean, look, the change is incredible. In fact, let me give you one more thing. So this was the chart for the miners for the 14th, and you can see we were at 17.8% year to date for our ETF miners. We're now at 30.15. So that's a 13% increase just in a few days. That's huge, folks. And then gold is at 23.67. On this chart here, it was 20.2, so that's 3% for gold. And then silver is at 32.77 on here, and now it's 44 over here. So there's, again, showing tremendous leverage on the miners. They're doing great. So when I look at the stock market performance and sectors, it looks like the metals are destroying the stock market. Chile's the only thing that's up significantly. The rest of these are less than 1%. China's up a little bit over 1%. South Africa's above 1%. You look at the sectors, everything is green except for energy and communication services.
All right, I started making candied yams, and I thought maybe I should go ahead and make a video for you to show you how to do this, because this is a super easy recipe. I discovered this just before Thanksgiving and made it, and it was a big hit. So I just want to show you how simple this is. But basically, you take some large sweet potatoes, and what I did was I've got this thing that you use for like marinating meat and everything, and you poke holes. You could use a fork also, but poke it all around the sweet potato. And I did 4 really large sweet potatoes on a plate, put it in the microwave. 10 minutes on one side, flip them over, did 10 minutes on the other. And 3 out of the 4 of these are actually done. The 4th one here, which was much bigger, has to go back in for a few minutes. But then what I do is I take a knife, and I just slit it halfway through, open it up, and then I take a big spoon like this and just scoop it out. So you can see one is done here. I'm about ready to do the other ones here. And then I just put it in a greased pan. I just take from some of that spray pan, spray the thing, and I'm going to layer the bottom of this. And it's really simple after this. You can take some drizzled butter and put over there, but I have this butter powder that's simulated butter flavored powder. And then you put some brown sugar, and then you put marshmallows. Now I have 2 different types of marshmallows. I used the smaller marshmallows last time, but I may use the bigger ones, or I may use a combination of both. And then you put it in the oven, and I'll have to come back and tell you what the temperature was, but I'm going to think it was like 400 for 30 minutes or something. But anyways, let me get to work on this, get this bottom layer done, and on to the next part. Okay, you can see this is starting to get full. I had 1 more sweet potato, had to go about 5 more minutes. But basically, you spread it out like you would mashed potatoes. And then I'm going to take my basically butter powder, put that on there. I'm just not tolerant with butter, so I end up having to use this substitute, and it works very well. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take coconut oil, mix that butter powdered in there, and I'll use it on my popcorn or even a recipe like this. And my body seems to tolerate coconut oil very well. So that's another trick, folks. I don't know why some of these other oils like olive oil and peanut oil and everything cause a lot of people trouble, but even butter causes me lots of trouble. Heartburn galore, folks. I love it. It tastes good to me, but it doesn't agree with me. Just like wheat doesn't agree with me. So everything that I do is gluten-free. And so this is going to be a real simple recipe. You'll see this go together real quick. I use about a half a cup of brown sugar in here. I just kind of spread it all over the top. So I'll show you the next level after I get the rest of the sweet potato done. Okay, we've got the butter powder, and I've also added the brown sugar. Now I'm going to put these marshmallows in here. And the small marshmallows are actually probably better, but I'm going to try this time. I like to change it up every once in a while, but I did the small marshmallows last time, and I just thought I'd try the larger ones. Now this is going to kind of fill up, so you don't need to fill up every square inch, but I like marshmallows. That's probably about it right there. Sorry, I'm not doing a good job. I'm trying to hold the camera and do this same time. That's probably all you got to do. All right, there you go. Simple recipe. Now this will be, I'm gonna tell you right now, this is only gonna last about 3 meals for 2 people. This is an amazing dish. It's kind of it's a vegetable, but it's also a dessert, same time. So anyways, this is something you can do for any of your family gatherings. Everybody will love it. You just can't really, and it's simple, easy peasy. Probably, oh, I don't know. It's probably 10 minutes of your time. I don't really count the 20 minutes in the microwave, but it's super simple. So I don't know why everybody doesn't like it. Hopefully, if you like sweet potatoes, this is the way to go. This makes it fantastic. All right, that's it for this one. Let me get in the oven. All right, I had to show you what this is looking like. It's actually looking really good. Marshmallows are all toasted on here, and that's getting really good. It's actually cooking much faster than I thought it would. I wanted to show you another recipe real quick. Asparagus. Spray your pan just like I did the other one with Pam, and then trim the ends off your asparagus. Lay them in here, separate them a little bit. This was a big old bag I got from Sam's Club. It's 2 pounds. And then you just sprinkle it with Parmesan cheese, and I'm going to put it in that same oven, 400 degrees, for I don't know, 15-20 minutes, something like that. But I gotta see. I think I've got another tray, a shelf, so I'm going to go ahead and stick it in right now, and hopefully everything will come out about the same time. My chickens are just about ready to come out. I was just looking at the temperature gauge. In fact, it looks like they're ready. Whoop, just fogged up. But anyways, those are chickens that I grew from my little homestead, and so those are about ready to come out. It's a pretty good meal we got going here. Okay, there's the meal. Got cut up chicken over here, got the candied yams, and we got our asparagus. Looks fantastic. I wanted to show you how I planted my onions. So I made 4 furrows where I have 1 there, 2 towards the middle, and 1 on the outside. And that's where you put your fertilizer. And I usually start with a 10-10-10, and then as it starts approaching spring, I up it to like a 20-10-10. I just add some high nitrogen to my 10-10-10 for that to work. But then in between you plant your onions. So I have 3 rows of onions here. And they're planted fairly close together, and depending on the type of onions you plant, when these things start bulbing, you may have to thin them out every other one. You just kind of got to watch them. But anyways, I've been doing this for a couple years now, and this works really good. And in the early spring, I actually will come in and plant where those rows of fertilizer are. I'll plant my carrots, I'll plant beets, and also radishes. And it works fantastic. So I end up with a multi-purpose bed. But I've got like 5 beds of onions now. I'll show you what I got. So here's 3 more beds of onions. If you remember, that particular bed had my peppers in there, and those have been pulled out. But I have another one there, and I have 1 more on the side of the house that I have to plant still. And then these are my Egyptian walking onions over here. But my lettuces, we've gotten in some really cold weather here recently, and it's hurting the bib. It looks like I need to get in here and harvest some of this. And this is my collards. Over in that back corner, I gotta show you this. It's the first time I've grown celery. All of this stuff needs some fertilizer now, but let me get over here. So there's my celery. First time I've grown celery, so we'll have to watch and see how this progresses. Get a better view. The sun's at a low angle now, so it may not work out that well. Now in this bed, I planted my garlic, and I'm not seeing any shoots yet, but these things ought to be shooting up here pretty soon. I think everything's been in the ground about a week, so maybe a little bit longer we'll start seeing these things popping up. I keep looking for some kind of evidence, but nothing yet. This is the last bed that I'm going to plant my onions in. So I've got to get out here, weed this, and I'm going to rototill, throw a bunch of cow manure in there, and go ahead and do the same planting strategy. I don't know how this is going to work out with the long shadows I've got going on here, but I've got some onions left over that I had planted a whole bunch already, and this is what's left over. So I thought I'd come over here in a couple of these beds and go ahead and plant onions over here. But I've got a lot of weeds in here, so I just started using my metal rake, raking that out, and then I'm going to rototill this. This is what I use. It's a yard machine, electric, and this is great for these raised beds that I have. It works for my 4x8 beds that I have up front, and then these are a little bit wider and longer, you know, as they go down the hill. So I use this, but I'm going to throw a couple bags of cow manure once I've got this de-weeded, and then I'll rototill the crap out of it, get it to where it's all loosened up, and then I'll create my rows, fertilize in between the rows, and plant my onions. Rototill this bed real quick and show you how it works. This is pretty simple using this electric rototill. I have a bigger one for the larger part of my property, but for these raised beds, it's best to get like an electric one, and then just get a heavy duty cord because these draw a lot of current, and just plug it in nearby. And I've got a really long cord, so it reaches all my beds nearby. But these are real simple. There's a button right here that you push, and then you just bring this handle up like a regular lawnmower would, and then it'll start going. Sweet potatoes in there that I forgot about. Pushing this around earlier. We need to kind of come in here and pull all this grass out of here. Try to get that off the top. good. I just need to do my furrows now.
I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. Do the best you can. God bless.
Go potty.